Hey Ale, last episode you considered the start of a sugarcane farm. When trying to decide on the design, you considered automating it. Automation in Minecraft, it's pretty cool. The things and farms people come up with are beyond impressive. It's beyond wild that a game with such humble beginnings developed such intricacies that, let's face it, were way beyond the scope of what the developers could have ever foreseen. But I'm going to take a little bit of a different turn in the narration of this series. Up until now, the series has been completely scripted. It's been kind of my journal entries and my own thoughts, and it's been neat. But I've noticed that it could be better. For example, just everything seems to happen just as kind of in the background. Well, I'm trying to make everything very intentional in this series. Everything I build is trying to be kind of um, it's supposed to develop alongside my own thoughts. And I'm not going to change the journal format of this video because that's really what the series is, right? It's about developing my own thought and using my brain and being active in my thinking. But I do want to start implementing some more kind of traditional Let's Play narration, just kind of describing what I'm doing because I feel like it would be helpful to the quality of the video to do so. And I'm sorry to any of you animal lovers out there who have to sit here and watch me kill, 50 cows. Yeah, it just kind of needs to happen. I need the leather. And, every time I kill a cow in Minecraft, and this is a weird thought, I have this thought that we're so wasteful in Minecraft. We get one steak from a cow without looting. My aunt and uncle used to own a beef farm, and you can get quite a bit of beef from one cow. I'm not sure how Steve is butchering this cow, but I'm pretty sure he's doing it wrong. This part I'm actually pretty excited about. We're crafting kind of the first bookshelves that are going to be featured in the archive. We don't get a whole lot here, and it shows how many cows are going to need to be sacrificed to build the archive, but, it's a start. Now, back to our topic of the day, which is automation. I really do have the utmost respect for people that design these farms that we see, all these iron farms and all these sugarcane farms and bamboo and kelp farms. It is spectacular to see what people come up with. And just to set the record straight, I'm not really somebody who's smart enough to design one of these farms myself, but this really has no bearing on my opinion that I'm going to kind of say here. This isn't out of spite, it's not me saying that I'm not smart enough to design something like this myself, so I just don't like it, but I can't play this way. And now that I've come to realize this, I hope that I never try to play this way again. Instead of being the guy who makes the iron farm, for some reason you want to be the fool who still mines for iron with a pickaxe. And I really do mean this. What I realized when I started building automated farms in Minecraft was that I had a lot of fun building them, but then I never had any more fun after that. I would use them once or twice and I would feel very satisfied, but then after that, just nothing. Then you thought to yourself what you loved about other games, like World of Warcraft Classic, and what you loved about those games was having to work for everything that you had, and having to grind if you wanted something. It certainly isn't for everyone, but I'm a glutton for punishment, and I like having a goal to work on, even if that's searching for 5,000 iron ore to build a sorting system. Why rob yourself of the adventure? And speaking of adventures, today I just kind of came to another realization that I don't love exactly where I started building my base, and I wanted to venture out and find somewhere that I connected more with because there's some cool things about where I started, but there's nothing really eye-catching, and I want to try find something that I'll resonate more with. Now, I'll go back and I'll collect the episode 1 and 2 books that I put in that chiseled bookshelf, but For now, I just want to venture out and see what this world has to offer. And what I found was that it really did have a lot to offer. It's a pretty cool world. Do you remember the days when you would have like 20 iron blocks and you would feel like you were rich? And if you had two stacks, you felt like you had generational wealth. Nowadays, it's just the norm to have thousands upon thousands of iron blocks and perhaps thousands of stacks of iron blocks. What about wither skeleton skulls? Back in the day, having a beacon was a status symbol. And what has become kind of a reoccurring theme in Minecraft with all the things that we do nowadays, it really does show just ethics doesn't apply to, you know, the game and your actions in the game. Having a beacon meant that you were willing to do anything, including taking the lives of hundreds of wither skeletons, all for your own personal gain, just so you could mine that little bit faster. Side tangent, but have you ever stopped to consider maybe the wither deserved to win? Nowadays, with wither skeleton farms, you can get wither skeleton skulls faster than you can get video on demand. Mostly because nobody has cable anymore, so you would have to first repurchase cable, which, let's be honest, is going to take at least 2 business days before they come to install it. All in which time, you could have beacons lining your world built upon the iron that you easily got from your iron farm. There was something special about those days when automation wasn't yet the norm. Everything that you saw in your world, you knew that you actively acquired. I guess the other thing, Ale, is that you've never been a person to enjoy playing several games at once. You've always searched for just one. One game to rule them all. One game to find them. One game to bring them all and in the darkness bind them. This is where the original Minecraft game loop of mining, crafting, building, then back to mining really worked for you. If you had big projects, there's always work to do, resources to gather, game to play. Whereas many of these farms just change this loop to build, replenish, and it just gets tiring after a while because there's no real diversity in the game loop. It's just always building. And this next part isn't really to do with automation, at least not directly, but it is something to do with game loops. Let's have the mending conversation. The problem I have with it is that it makes diamonds and netherite pretty much obsolete. They're no longer something you need to make sure you always have on hand, not something you have to keep gathering. Now you get a handful of them, craft your armor and tools, and put mending on them, and forget entirely about that part of the game, that progression. Nowadays, truly, iron is more valuable than diamonds because of this whole kind of automation revolution. So I suppose it really does have to do with automation. Unlike last episode, this really isn't philosophical. Perhaps one might still call it intellectual, or maybe they would call it stupid. It's all a matter of perspective, really. But your reason for starting this journal was to challenge yourself and to keep your mind active. And you know, this is still in that kind of vein of things. I want to set the record straight for both you, Ale, as well as anybody else who might be watching this quirky video journal to myself. Yes, sometimes you might get philosophical, other times you might get personal, and other times still you might be just outright stupid. In this episode, I'm not quite sure what it is. I just had this topic on my mind that I needed to get out because it really just applies to more than Minecraft. In a world where everything is run by automation, you miss out on all of this. Arguably, in comparison to other creators out there, this episode I've really made next to no progress. But when you're dead set on progress, you miss out on moments like these. It's been a long while since I've just enjoyed the sights of a Minecraft world. It's about the experience. And this episode was an experience worth having. But really, this episode, I did make progress. I found this place, and I think this place is pretty neat. Right now it looks pretty bare, but I see a lot of potential in it, and I think we can make something special here. I think this is a good place to start our archive. It has a neat overhanging cliff. It has a floating island too, which is pretty cool. It reminds me a lot of Skyblock, really. And it has this neat water feature surrounded by all these very vertical cliffs, like these mini peaks almost. Now, I'll shut up here pretty soon and just kind of let you enjoy the view and look around what is going to become my archive here. But I did just want to say that in your life, Ale, you'll need to pick and choose your battles. Let the ones that aren't worth your time pass by you. But for the battles that you do choose to get involved in, make sure that you fight them with all of your heart. And don't let another, be it man or be it machine or any sort of automation, really, fight it for you. Be the one involved in it. Be the one fighting that battle for yourself. You'll make so many more memories, and those victories will soon become something much more valuable to you for it. So here it is, at long last. This is the site that will build our archive. It'll be fun. It'll be really exciting, and I see a lot of potential here with all the cliffs and everything. And hopefully someday, if you've watched from the beginning, which at this point really nobody has but me, you'll know that a big inspiration was Etho, and I do hope to do a big portion of this build underground, and I just think it's a neat opportunity to build something that's continuously sprawling. Um, so yeah, here it is. Enjoy it. Take in the view. I'll see you all next episode.